Hello, and welcome to another Snap to the Nap episode. Today is a special episode because I have a guest with me. This is Steve. You've probably seen his name at the end of some of my videos. Steve is a lot of really good and helped me out with a lot of modifications.
So I had the pleasure of meeting Max about 6 years ago. His dad introduced me to him, come around to get some modifications done. And then since then, Max has been coming around on a regular basis of ideas on things that he needed done or repaired or changed or modified. We've had some times where we've been sitting around trying to work out how to think outside the square to make stuff work. Or other times it's just a simple process of I know what else we can do with that. There are times where we've tried stuff and Max has gone off and it's broken or it didn't quite work, so we had to come back and have another think about it and just keep at it and just keep thinking outside the box to make it work for him. So it's been a pleasure in doing that, and it's great to have Max around and have his ideas. So with Max's CP, it doesn't affect his thinking. He has great ideas and knows what to do. It's just that he hasn't got the fine motor skills, I suppose, to do welding or just some of the finer stuff. So on Max's hands to try and produce stuff for him.
Yeah, and I appreciate everything that she does, and I wouldn't be able to do the thing that I do as easy as I do now. If that makes sense. So today we're going to do a full tour of my trailer. We built this thing from scratch, from bottom up, and it's fully customized for what I need.
So we started off, Max just had a rusty old 6x4 box trailer, I think.
Yeah.
It was rusting away, falling apart, and he just needed something a little bit better to carry his scooter around at the time.
It was fun.
Yeah, so he had a motorised scooter that it was just a bit difficult to get on. So we come up with the idea of possibly using a ute tray. A mate of ours gave us just the plain tray. There was nothing else. There's no headboard, there was no sides. So we started off with that. We sourced some sides for it.
Yeah.
We sourced these ones in particular that had the bigger handle that Max could use easily instead of the small handles that the normal trays have. And another advantage of this handle too is it has the ability to stay up for Max when he does the other one. So he can come back at that one. We then, when we put the bigger hinges on for him, the bigger ones are just easier, so Max could take the sides on and off. And around on the side here, where we have the 3 hinges, we actually offset them a little tiny bit, so Max could put them on himself. And what the ability is, he can just put on one hinge first before the next one locks on. Anyone that has the normal trays will understand that trying to put 3 on in one go is quite difficult.
This is a 8x6 it press, and then we put this on a pretty heavy duty frame.
Yeah, so we built the frame out of RHS. Can't quite remember the exact size. I think it's 70 by 40, I think it is. So we built that out of RHS Duragal. We then also got 1 ton leaf springs out of a Hilux and put them on, and also shock absorbers, just so the trailer could do a better ride with his scooter in. We didn't want the trailer bouncing around a lot, so we went with the softer springs but still take that 1 ton load. The trailer itself is actually registered for 1 ton. It has brakes. Initially we did have just hydraulic override brakes. If you come around here, the difficult with that with Max is that every time he reversed he had to fold this pin over to allow it to go in reverse. So the trailer was initially built on a bit of a budget, and then a couple of years later Max got some electric brakes for his car, so we actually pulled the brakes off and put electric brakes on for him. It's much easier for Max now to reverse. He doesn't have to get out all the time.
The other big thing this trailer is to hit the road. We put the small wheels that will fit with brake behind them, so they're 13-inch rims with light truck tires on them.
So another thing that we took into consideration when we were building the trailer was the ramps that Max used to have to use on his old trailer to get scooters on, or even mowers or anything like that. So this is the way he used to do it. It becomes a little bit difficult for him when you've got to, after you put the load on, you've got to try and find somewhere on the trailer to put them as well as the load, and also tying them down. And another issue too was that if you were out with your trailer and then realised you need ramps, most times your ramps were at home. So instead of going through this process all the time, we decided to come up with something different, and we'll show you shortly what we come up with. Okay, so this is the idea that we come up with the ramp to make life easier for Max. It basically, we got hold of another tray and we cut it down to fit in between the rails. So it's strong but light for Max still to use. So it's on rollers. The handle itself is just off an old motorbike seat, folds away. So it's wide enough to get his scooter on, wide enough to get a mower on, and even strong enough to put a piano on, which Max has moved in the past. So we do have a little bit of a step here that Max is going to show what we use. And
This is right for my scooter and everything hard, but not more. The bottom area.
yeah, so the deck on the mower in most cases will scrape on this on the way up. So we've just made up this little extra piece that slips in, and it just raises the mower up high enough. So it sits in there, and that's just enough to get the rear wheels up high enough on the mower so the deck can clear this and get on. Another thing we had to do, we had to strengthen this tailgate, and we did that by basically putting a bit of 6mm alloy on. We just pop rivet onto there, and it just makes the tailgate really strong, and you can just run over it without the fear of it actually breaking or bending. And like I said in the past, Max has actually put a piano on with this, with the help of a winch that we'll talk about later. And in that situation, we normally just put a bit of pipe in here, and that's for enough to get the small wheels over onto it. Okay, so to help Max get things on that are dead, like this mower, we've come up with this winch system. And also for Max to get on was always going to be a bit difficult walking up the ramp without a handle. So we've come up with this bit of a step and a handle for Max to get onto the trailer quite easy. So it just folds out like that, simple as that. We put a handle up a little bit higher that Max can hang on to. And now this is just a safer way for Max to get on the trailer. He does this to load things on, to tie things down, and also to set the winch up. So the winch itself, it's just on a bit of RHS. It's very similar to a trailer hitch type setup. It's just going to slip into another bit of RHS that we've welded on and braced quite strongly. And it's just a simple process then of actually using the Anderson plug to run off his car. And then that just plugs into an Anderson plug that's on the trailer up a bit high there for him, and then it will run down to his car and run off the battery. Okay, so we're going to show you how Max winches it on. The first winch we used actually had a hardwired system to do it, so we changed the winch to a remote one now, so Max can walk around and make sure things are going on properly.
And help you.
Yeah, just control it and steer it better. This is how he normally does it now.
Now all moments on wrapped in and
So when we first decided to build the trailer, it was basically so Max could take this with him to go to the shops or even to the beach or even camping, and this is how the trailer idea started and the reason for the ramp.